to utilization of the whole piece.
Maybe you have not generated enough waste to utilize the entire piece.
Chair, that piece is not going to be covered by waste. As alluded to by my Lord Mayor, we are going to have a waste management facility, waste management and resource recovery facility at that site.
Okay.
We are not going to dump traditionally.
Have you been concerned that it's caveated and
The
you are
letter-
due
the
to
letter
make
came
another
in.
payment?
The letter came in last week, and as usual, when we get such letters, we write to the concerned ministries to get the background information. Then we engage the party.
I thought you would have obtained the background information before.
As I said, Chair, at the time of procurement, we obtained the background information. All people who contested the land, including NFA, we wrote to them to provide proof of ownership. We even wrote to the Solicitor General, who also wrote to them. All those who queried that land at the time of procurement, we wrote to them. There was even a court case which was going on that particular land. We waited until it was determined, then we concluded. So this one came in last week, and we are going to look at it.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, can I get some clarification on
Yes, Honorable Kcca.
The Chairman, thank you very much. The Chairman, you asked the issue of policy in regard to this matter. The Chairman realized that much of the solid and non-solid waste is, much of it comes from outside the city. And the road mayor knows that the act itself was introduced to attract attention and get corresponding resources for a special purpose. What does the road mayor say about this management of Kcca and other areas, in a view that now the city is managed under central government and is given a priority in terms of resources? Because, Mr. Chairman, we don't want to think that the managers of Kampala State Authority have failed something when the resources are not given. So I want the road mayor to tell us what effort he has made to make sure that at least the whole public understands that this garbage doesn't come from the city, and the government has given adequate resources.
It has given adequate resources?
Yeah, because although it is under local government, not local government, it was put in a special place, President's office, because they be given special attention.
Are you trying to say the President is the one managing or mismanaging the garbage?
Yes, this is under President's office. Under the President, I mean, that's where they are, Presidents.
So the garbage is a property of the Presidency?
No, the law. I'm sorry about there is a...
Okay, Lord Mayor, answer the member's
the
question.
Treasury Memorandum, the Road Mayor should tell us what was observed by Parliament, the resources. At least you help this committee.
But the Lord Mayor said, if I remember well, he wants to tell us more after the ED has finished the management response. Maybe we don't jump the gun.
Yeah, but you see, Mr. Chairman, there are some more issues that
you will still be there to ask the
ED
question.
may not even feel comfortable to answer.
Why are you speculating?
That's why on policy now.
You are speculating. Let us hear the ED. After hearing the ED, you are not going away, so you will answer all the questions. You will not be allowed to exit. CID ensure that the Honorable Kcca does not leave this room, does not leave the basement. Honorable Mwadanku Nyingi, you are one of the contributors of to the solid waste as according to Honorable Kcca.
Chair, I trust you'll make a ruling accordingly. But from the immediate response of the ED, through you, I was seeking, first of all, to look at the relevant searches and due diligence reports Kcca alleges to have done, And I think
Didi, let's have them by close of business today.
They will be provided.
Thank you. Honorable Okeyo Peter from Bukoli Island or Islands.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Just in addition to what Honorable Nkunyingi is stating, actually, I am also not comfortable with the explanation the ED gave about the land that is contested. And the question is, really, was there due diligence? And I wanted the
She has answered
I wanted the
in the
director
affirmative.
legal. I wanted the affirmation from director legal,
Yes.
the Honorable Chair, that if all this was done, then there would be now no caveat put.
No, that it doesn't follow. It does not necessarily follow. Supposing the caveator is simply a champtuous bystander, a person not so busy, you cannot judge them by now. I think let's first get the reports. You know, there are people we call vexatious litigants. You will determine that they are when you have exhausted the entire chain and looked at the documents they produce. So the director legal for now is protected. Yes, Honorable Itungo Nathan.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman, just for the record, we don't have those records you have. I just wanted you to confirm for us whether the caveat was put before or after the purchase. And
Oh, you want to know the date? The
Yes.
date of the caveat, no, it was after. The caveat was lodged in June, on 5th June 2025, while Mr. Luwaga David Derrick was registered on the 19th day of December 2023. So it was lodged a year and a half later. Yes, but what we can do, Madam Edie, you, in addition to those documents, you send us your purchase agreement, your sale agreement, because we will be able to know when you bought and the dates.
Yeah, Chair, I
Mr.
wanted
Chair?
to concur with you that we need this purchase agreement or the sale agreement, because when you calculate here the 200.
Everyone deserves a smartphone, so level up with Airtel Cosimu. Own a new smartphone of your choice today and pay as you use with Airtel. To own a smartphone, visit the nearest Airtel service center or any of our Cosimu partners, Watusimu, M-Kopa, Mogo, or D-Lite, and pay in quick and easy installments daily, weekly, and monthly. That's not all. On every new smartphone, you also enjoy 100% bonus on all weekly and monthly data bundles purchased every month for 3 months. Dial *100 *28 hash to check eligibility. Step into the future. Cosimu today. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Staffing, and also we've not yet obtained enough funding to invest in the waste management and resource recovery facility. However, on the equipment, we have clearly put down our requirements for the equipment we need to ensure that we manage garbage well. We have made that request to the Ministry of Finance to be able to provide the required resources. We have also had interactions with the Office of the Prime Minister on the dire need we are in for equipment. In the meantime, we are not saying that we are not maintaining the site.
Would you want to share with us those communications?
Yes, I can.
Because if
share.
you read the report we last made here, which was adopted by Parliament in 2 resolutions, as the Lord Mayor said, we observed that one of the glaring inadequacies on the part of Kcca management is communicating with the different sections within the authority. A letter or a memo written to the ED by Dr. Kero, the Director Health and Environment then, was not shared with the authority. Our interpretation of the interpretation of the law, and when we are appropriating money to the authority, is that we do not give money to technical staff. We give money to the authority, and the authority is defined basically as the Lord Mayor and then the other political organs which you serve. But when it comes to your communications, you omit them. The political follow-up therefore fails. The chain breaks there. Listen to our recommendation, observation in the previous meeting. Of course, I'm not oblivious of the fact that you came in much later. There are lapses and consistent breakdown in communication within the authority's technical wing, which would never share reports with the authority, with the elected leadership, which constitutes the authority under the Kcca Act. Information from the technical team goes out to the central government without the knowledge of both the Lord Mayor, who presides over the authority. At some point, the Minister of Kampala, Capital City, and Metropolitan Affairs informed the committee that she too was at times left in the dark by the technical team. Such is not healthy and cannot guarantee effective service delivery. That was our observation, and we made sufficient attendant recommendations.
Thank you, Chair.
Proceed, ma'am.
That observation is noted, but that was then. Chair, we have frequent interaction with my political leadership, the executive committee, on a weekly basis, unless there is something important which has made us fail. And all the funding gaps I'm talking about, the trips we made to the Ministry of Finance, my political leadership is aware, and they know what we went to negotiate for, from equipment, money for wage, increment in capitation grant, all those funding gaps. They are aware, and when we came back with whatever we were able to collect, they were informed.
Mr. Chairman, some clarification on equipment. Mr. Chairman, since you said that I shouldn't go, I want to get some information from
you. Cannot leave the basement before you learn English.
Now, so what I'm saying,
yes,
is that when these people appear.
By the way, for the basement, I forgot to notify you that one of the activities is shaving off that beard.
But have you learned another language other than Uganda? So, Mr. Chairman, this entity that is appearing before us, they are coming for accountability. So we look at machinery and land under assets. So when you are talking about a staffing shortfall, you have told the committee that I have so many people, their shortfall was so much, and the cost was so much, we budgeted and you never got the money. So when you look at their page 58 on the assets, there is land for about maybe 482 million or billion. But what's important is you go to page 59 of the Auditor General's report, and you will find that other machinery equipment, 10 billion. So they would need to tell us that we needed so much, we spent so much here. So can the ED,
yes,
can the ED tell us what machinery did they buy, what did they need, what's the shortfall?
No, there is a substantive query on machinery. There is also a substantive query on staffing. So we'll get there, especially now that I guided that you're not leaving the room. Thank you.
But you are overprotecting there.
From what?
The ones who have talked about machinery, we are about machinery.
No, machinery. There is a substantive item. We will get there. Proceed, madam. Maybe we want you to share with us the same documents that you shared with your political leadership that show efforts of trying to get the things that you want.
You see, Mr. Chairman, even if they say they did not have machinery, it should be in their asset register and say, we had so much, this one was not there. Secondly, they must show to us that they were in touch with the Ministry of Finance by way of writing.
That's exactly the guidance I've just given her. We will have the same documentation by close of business.
The documentation on the funding gaps, which also includes these machines.
All right.
Yeah, then the issue of procurement of land, and then mobilization of the waste management facility.
Just a minute, Chair. I don't know at what stage I will come in to furnish information like on that issue of machinery. I don't know. Most obliged.
Chair, on procurement of land, I have already explained how far we have gone, and efforts are underway to mobilize whoever is going to invest in the waste management and resource recovery facility in Buyala. We received 52 unsolicited bids, which we are processing at the moment. The Ministry of Finance is studying them to look at their economic viability in as far as this country is concerned. And when we get that report, we will proceed with the procurement.
Lord Mayor.
On the question of the equipment and management of the funds we have, yes, Chair, we still have some issues we are grappling with. And this is where I wanted to interest the committee in some of these issues to see how they can be adequately addressed. Chair, our budget currently for maintenance, previous of maintenance of which it is, because right now it should be maintenance of Buyal, is 3.1 billion. 3.1 billion. Yes, Chair. For record purposes, if I can furnish you with the breakdown, Chair, I have the documentation here, and we have processed some copies for members. You see how interventions can be made. The Auditor General talks of hiring the equipment at 1.5, it's just one page document, Chair.
I now have people who read these things related to waste management, people who can read them better, like Honorable Kayondo. And Mlima Mayuni, because he is also the custodian of the garbage you left in Dundu. Are you still dumping in Dundu?
No, we have never dumped there.
You never dumped there?
No, no.
Okay.
Chair, if you could look at that document.
Yes.
It's the breakdown for the expenditure.
Did you say 3.1?
Yes, I said 3.1.
But what I see is 4.189.
That was explained, Chair, that there was that money which was always being rolled over, 1 billion.
Oh.
Yeah. Which was never permitted to us, but they kept on rolling it over. So the actual amount is 3.1 billion. So we have always had issues with this. And you'd see, Chair, the biggest challenge we have now is that we are just hiring equipment. And the government has not provided us with the funds to purchase our own equipment. And the hire is quite exorbitant. It is high. You can see, Chair.
I think this is where Honorable Kwizera's question would come into play. Where he would say, maybe I would modify it in Rufumbira English. How much do you need to buy equipment? And because that we would be able to know that if we got this 3.1, in 5 years we would have reached the same amount for purchasing our own equipment. Do you have a budget
Yes, Chair, we have interrogated that matter internally, and the ED and her team have furnished us with information to explain the cost of hiring vis-a-vis purchase, of the cost of purchasing. And I have the figures here, Chair.
Let's have the figures on our record and in our ears.
And I thought this would be important that the ED here gives you this information, Chair. It's vital.
No, it's okay. You can assign to anybody.
Yes, I'll give this information to ED. The cost of...
Executive Director, what is the cost of hire vis-a-vis purchase?
A chairperson, at the site where we manage waste from, we use a number of machinery. For instance, we require a chain bulldozer with low ground pressure, hydraulic chain excavator. We require a land compactor, a water bowser because of the dust which comes out, and then a chain bulldozer. If we are to hire, for hiring these machines, we would require 3.715362000, 3.6.7 in summary. Yes, per annum for hire. Now, considering the fact that purchase is a one-off, if we are to purchase, we would require 4.5 billion shillings to purchase, to purchase the equipment I've talked about.
So, Chair, okay.
I think, colleagues, you need to understand this, that annually we spend 3.7 billion to hire, but we need 4.5 billion to buy the entire set of what they need. You're saying no? Honorable Mzale, you know something about garbage?
No, about equipment.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want the Director Engineering to answer me, because I understand much as the ED is here, but this is to do with engineering. So I think the engineer may be...
I will not allow you to go there, because I will not allow you to use my chair where you're seated to issue a vote of no confidence.
No, Chair.
In the ED.
No, on behalf of the ED.
No, the ED is here. She has a team. It is her to look into her people where she needs help. You cannot identify that help.
Okay.
You are ruled out of order.
Okay, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, well, I'm trying to look at the rights here. Number one would be who is the service provider for these equipment?
Okay, that's a good question. ED will answer it. Next question.
The next question, of course, looking at the rates here, they're almost ×2 the market rates.
Which rates are you talking about? You mean here?
Yes.
Why? What makes you think they are ×2?
Mr. Chairman, the biggest provider of machinery in this town is Mantruck and Fulham. And an excavator with the taxes inclusive, the maximum will be 1.4. Without taxes, they will give you at 1 million. That's per day, dry rate.
You mean the biggest service provider of this machinery for hire or sale?
Both. Mantruck does.
Mantruck hires also?
Yes.
Okay.
and the other one would be fulcrum.
What happens if they put up the advert and Mantrack doesn't respond? Thinking aloud.
Mr. Chairman,
Especially given now that we do not have, yes, now that we do not have the, yes, Honorable Kayondo. I did not want, are you done, Honorable Muzali? Let Muzali finish, Kayondo
Not
come
yet,
in, the
Mr.
ED will
Chairman.
clarify.
Mr. Chairman, I was looking at all these equipments listed in here. The bulldozer is equal the same. It carries the same rate as an excavator. Water bowser, of course, they vary basing on the size, but equally this rate is extremely high.
Everyone has dreams. Not everyone has the means to achieve them. That's where we come in. With our customized loans, you'll get the support you need to start, grow, and manage your business. Pride Bank.
I was going to ask the ED as she comes in to clarify after the Honorable Kayondo, that if you can buy land on hire purchase, what would stop you from buying equipment on the same terms, especially where you already have 3.1 billion that you can use in 1 year? I thought if you bought equipment on terms that we can pay you in 3 years, the same money you're using to hire, you would use it to buy and find it actually cheaper. Kayondo?
Chair, I think ED is hiding some information here.
Just bring out the information.
Yes, that's the information.
Don't
I think
impute.
ED is hiding some information here.
Yeah, don't impute that
because
motive.
if you are talking of an excavator at 2.5 and you call that higher, no. Can you break down the hiring we are talking of here? Tell us the fuel, tell us the repairs. Is it included on this? Because if it is included on this, then you are reducing the cost of hire. If you are talking of the fuel, if you are talking of the repairs, then you are reducing the cost of hire. If you are talking of the lorry that delivers them to the site, so please be specific here. Is this 2.5?
I think your question is legitimate, please. But the packaging...
No, I want to package it that way because I see she's not giving us...
You represent some island.
She's giving us a wrong impression. Because, no.
Chair, I ask for a clarification.
Okay,
No,
before the Honorable Mwada comes in, let's hear the ED.
No, Chair, I'm finishing. Honorable Muzali was clear.
Yeah.
On the ground, you get an equipment at 1.5. That is higher. The consumption a day is 360 liters. We know the rate of repair. So please give us this information. Otherwise, this money should be added on this, so it shouldn't be 2.5. It's either 3 million or less. Please clarify on that.
Finished, but you inform the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, Kcca has budget lines. You'll find a budget line for oils and other things and fuel. These are dry rates. These are dry rates which are here. They do not include fuel. So that's the information I wanted to give my colleague. This doesn't have fuel. This is a dry rate.
Chair, may I be allowed to clarify?
Chairman, information.
No. Let's hear ED. You come in later. ED?
Chairperson, I would like to clarify or to add on to the information I gave that the hire includes, it is wet lease. It is wet lease. It also has operation and maintenance and insurance. Thank you.
But Chair, if we are to get the actual figures for this wet hire,
Kayondo, listen to the witness.
the wet hire cost is 3.7 billion, whereas purchasing reduces annualized cost to 2.5 billion after considering depreciation, fuel, and maintenance. Annualized purchase cost, including fuel, operations, maintenance, and depreciation, is 2.5 billion. So the initial capital outlay is 4.2 billion. So still, we did this assessment and calculation. If you went into purchase, you would reduce the cost by 32%. That is the assessment that was made.
Do you mean this is information that was availed both to the Prime Minister and the Minister for Finance?
Chair, they have this information, including the problems associated with the hire before the Kcca debacle. Mr. Chairman, I wrote personally to the Prime Minister, and this information was forwarded to the Prime Minister, and how Nippon has made a kill out of this hire business. Because you're asking which company, he was talking about Mantra. Nippon enjoys monopoly there. Right from inception, when Kcca was removed from Otada, Otada was the one managing it before, the former MP. Now, when it came back to Kcca, we decided to hire Nippon equipment. Nippon has been enjoying a monopoly all through. So the entire budget almost has been going to Nippon. Yet when you go to Kcca and we wanted an audit to be conducted, if indeed there was any serious maintenance, the justification given for hire is that maintenance is rather expensive on our side. And also protection of our equipment is problematic. I have an audit report here.
How problematic is it? What do you mean by protection?
Yes, I'll tell you this, Chair. I have the Auditor General report of 2011-2012, which was assessed by processed by our Internal Public Accounts Committee, and they have presented the latest report, 2025, January 2025. They indicated that our way bridge at Kcca was stolen by Kcca officials and took it to Rwanda.
To Rwanda?
They stole it and took it to Rwanda. This is Auditor General and Public Accounts Committee. I have the report here. We have had occasion to discuss it internally with the ED and the entire team. We even had a retreat on this audit report. We went to Entebbe and said, can we take action to fight against this kind of thuggery?
Mr. Chairman,
the officials took the way bridge.
Clarification.
They took it to Rwanda and sold it to Rwanda. Yes? They are known. They are known. Those who stole it.
Clarification.
So the problem with the hire, the problem with the purchase, again, is the protection. You will purchase and the equipment will be sold. Like this way bridge was sold by Kcca officials to Rwanda. How they even crossed the border and took the way
Chairman,
bridge.
Clarification.
No, it was...
clarification, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, clarification.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I have two issues.
Please share that report.
For the road mayor to...
Somebody pick it.
To clarify. Mr. Chairman, one, the originator of the budget of the authority should be the authority where the road mayor is the chairperson. So, what is the role of the authority, the council, to the budget? And what did they recommend? Did they recommend hire or purchase? That we want those evidence from the council to see if someone worked contrary to what council, the authority decided. That's one. Two, you have talked about safety. Can we get the police reference report? You have, at any time it came to your knowledge, you are accountable. You should have reported to police. The final point, Mr. Chairman, is that the cost of hire depends on when you repay. If you hire and you are going to pay in the first quarter, it's different from when you are not going to pay within 6 months. So that one.
I think on the last one, either way, it is balanced by the fact that you can buy on higher purchase terms. But just listen to this, the report that has been given to me, that in the year 2011-2012, Auditor General's report, 2 weigh bridges were stolen by Kcca officials from the garbage collection site at Kcca and sold in Rwanda. A memorandum which was received by the CPAC dated 22nd February 2012 showed that a brand new weigh bridge was stolen and replaced with an old one, an old and dysfunctional weigh bridge. To date, there is no functional weigh bridge to measure the quantities of garbage delivered at the landfill. Contained in this memorandum was also a recommendation that the Office of ED and Police work hand in hand with the former Assistant Town Clerk, Kcca, Kawempe, to lead to the perpetrators who sold the weigh bridges. However, this matter has since stalled and currently no efforts are going on to recover these weigh bridges. Recommendation: the Executive Director through the Legal Department should direct Kcca CID to follow up this matter and apprehend those involved in the scam for purposes of recovering the weigh bridges. Mwadanku Nyingi, the weigh bridges were stolen from your constituency.
Thank you,
Please
Chair.
explain.
Chair, I'm also here to seek answers from Kcca. And Chair, starting from this document titled the Kcca's Landfill Actual Expenditure. Now,
first, let's admit the document named copy named the Kampala Capital City report of the Kampala Capital City Public Accounts Committee, dated or issued in January 2025, which is admitted accordingly on our record. And technical, please, you need to go through this and process it.
Thank you, Chair. Now, Chair, my principal concern is that whereas we are looking at the figures and the cost of hiring, to which I agree that the best approach will be to procure. But alleging that this is an expenditure on Kcca's landfill, when for the several times I've personally visited the landfill when it was operational, even at the tragedy, Kcca had no machinery. We need to interrogate. There would be hiring agreements, how these machineries were hired, how they were deployed, because they are saying Kcca, yet on the ground there was no machinery, even at the time of the tragedy. We need to interrogate, were they only paying, but these machineries were not actually deployed? Because we have questions on the ground, whether these machineries were deployed on the ground. When it comes to the stealing and the thuggery of government property, I think, Mr. Chair, using your powers, we can even arrest some of the thieves now. Because the Lord Mayor is saying the names are known, and they are officers of Kcca. Would the Lord Mayor give us the names? And, Chair, since the report has been admitted,
can you show me the thieves now?
The Lord Mayor said the names are known, so the Lord Mayor could assist the committee with the names. Chair, you make an appropriate ruling. But, Chair, principally,
I will make a ruling.
Principally, the deployment of this machinery on the ground must be interrogated. They may be paying machinery which are not brought on the ground. At least for Kcca's landfill, even when a tragedy befell, there would be slide. All rescue machinery was brought from outside, Uganda Police and other agencies. Where is this machinery as alleged?
Maybe, Lord Mayor, who did you hand over the weigh bridge to? The weigh bridge.
Well,
bridges, there were two.
There were two.
Who did you hand them over?
No, they were installed at Kcca.
Yes.
When they were installed there, it was at a time when there was that transition from Otada to Kcca now managing it directly.
Yes.
And during that process, those officials got those weigh bridges. And
now, who are the officials?
You see, Chair, that's why I made reference to the law. And in the initial proceedings here indicated, under Section 58, subsection 10 of Kcca Act, the executive director and I are mandated to implement the recommendation of the Auditor General
Yes.
and the Public Accounts Committee. So
Yeah.
when we went to Entebbe to go through this,
Yes.
we noted Entebbe, clause by clause. We looked at the recommendation there. It was very clear that the director legal should work with the DPP. No,
Police CID.
with the police CID and cause the arrest. Now the director legal is here.
Procedure, Mr. Chairman.
And here we have
Procedure.
Procedure, Honorable.
Procedure, Mr. Chairman.
Procedure, Kwizera.
The Chairman, I want you to invoke your powers and you put the road mayor on oath because the statement is making a very important and grave
procedure.
and will help this committee. Wouldn't it be right, Mr. Chairman, for the road mayor to be put on oath? And during the presentation, he makes fresh submission and indicates, even mentions the people who he knows that took the Weighbridge and sorry to Rwanda.
Information.
Because this information is very important for
Information.
police. I thank you.
Chair was offering him information.
I have to rule on the procedure.
Chair, I was offering him information that the road mayor's document has been admitted by the committee.
Yes.
So we can ably refer to it.
We will read the report. The information he's giving us, even when he's not on oath, is still credible. If you read the rules, by the way, you go on oath where someone has contradicted himself. It is not in every case where you think evidence will be important. But even evidence which is not on oath is important. Honorable Bakabulindi.
Thanks very much, Chair. We seem to be taking long and mixing issues. Lord Mayor made a statement that he cannot even go in for the policy of purchasing because they are going to be stealing. Isn't it? No, wait. And then you are saying, you know the people of Kcca who stole and took to Rwanda. Oh, wait. To me, without even wasting time, why don't you mention the names so that we finish that one and we deal with another area? We're just rotating around the names. The Kcca, are they still there or they left? Mention the names. If the legal department which we are referring to, then after mentioning the names, we shall ask the legal officer, where are your colleagues? How far did you go?
Okay. Lord Mayor, would you answer that?
With all due respect, Chair, I wanted to restrict myself to the mandate I have under the Kcca Act, Section 58, subsection 10, to implement the resolution, the recommendation of the Public Accounts Committee.
Director Legal,
Yes.
you were given instructions to work with CID to cause the apprehension. Where are your results?
Honorable Chairman, it's true that during I think it was last year in the strategic planning retreat, when we were making reflections on where we've been and where we're going, the Lord Mayor raised this issue, that 13 years ago, weighbridges were stolen from Kcca, and there was an allegation that some of our staff then sold them, and the CID had been asked to do that investigation. Yeah, 13 years ago. So
about 2012.
Yeah, it's 13 years ago. So when he informed us of that, I committed to ask our current CID team to dig it up and give a report to management. This happened a few months ago. It was when we had the retreat. So this investigation is ongoing, but we can follow up and find out how far it has gone. But for now, I don't have any latest update on that.
If you mark the words you have used, Mr. Frank Rusa, we can follow up.
We will.
So that means you've not been following up.
No, when that instruction was made, CID was informed. So CID has not yet updated us.
Can you share with us a reference and the instructions to CID?
We have got a CID unit attached to Kcca.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Can you give us evidence of that instruction?
Okay, we'll do that.
Was it verbal?
We called for a meeting and had a conversation, but it was recorded in minutes of the meeting.
Let's have that by close of business today. I had Honorable Mzale.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, this is an incident that happened in 2012. And the reports are out in 2025. The PAC report. So, the CPAC report. So, Mr. Chair, I need to be perhaps helped to understand what was the reason of failure to identify the problem there and then, where we have so many departments responsible for management.
Proceed, Honorable Mzale.
Mr. Chairman, my concern is one. The incident happens in 2012. It's being reported on 2025. I just want to understand what happened in there, because we have the internal auditors system, we have the one who was responsible
actually,
for that.
to supplement yours for contextualization, the report manages to even identify where the way bridges were sold. That would call for intervention of even Interpol.
Mr.
Because
Chairman,
wait.
there I need some clarification. There.
And by the way, the way bridges went through your constituency.
But when was it noticed? When was it noticed that it is missing?
You see, the problem we are dealing with, why it's bigger and more complex, is that this was identified by the auditors. Was it auditors? First, it was identified by the auditors, by the Auditor General. Then it goes to CPAC, the City Public Accounts Committee. Now, the tracking would involve CID interfacing with the auditors to give them part of the information they received, how they even came to identify where the way bridges were sold. CID, working with ESO and Interpol, would even go and identify where the way bridges are, and would even get to know who actually sold them. It is also a matter that involves foreign relations, that you have your property stolen and found in another jurisdiction, in a neighboring jurisdiction. Now, we do not even know whether where they were sold is a facility managed by the government or by a private player like ours here. I think it is bigger than that. Frank Rusha, would you call your CID officer who is handling this matter now? We will give you a minute to excuse yourself. Call that CID officer or the head to come here now. Wait. Not on this. Please do that. Honorable Tungo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chair, can
Honorable Kabulindi, I will manage the proceedings properly. Honorable Itungo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I've not gotten an opportunity to look at the report, but I would imagine after raising the issue, there is an explanation of the accounting officer. And Mr. Chairman, Article 164 of the Constitution is very clear on the matters of accountability. That even when the accounting officer ceases to hold the office,
he can still.
Grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola and enjoy summer.
Accounting officer to come and account. As you summoned the CIDs, who was the accounting officer by then, and why didn't the person come and account for that query, Mr. Chairman?
Ale?
Mr. Chair, I think to be helped, we need the auditors who identified the problem. Maybe they can be able to explain more. Because they'll be able to tell us how they got to know the problem, and I'm very sure they have the names. If they were able to know that the equipments cross the border from Uganda to
I think internally we are going to identify the auditors. Don't forget that the Auditor General is our staff. We will get there. You know, what is disturbing, first of all, is we want to know in which audit report that matter came up. Lord Mayor, which report was this?
2011, 2012. But it was specifically 2011.
So it means that the audit report of 2011-12 was only reviewed in 2025 by the CPAC.
Chair, it's a long story.
Yes.
For several years we didn't have CPAC. Yes, there were fights against the constitution of the CPAC. At least since 2011 I've been around and I've been struggling to have CPAC in place. Finally it is in place. But that time there was no CPAC.
So it is dealing with the backlog.
Exactly.
Who was the accounting officer at the time?
Chair, those were the days of impeachment.
No, but there was an accounting officer.
The accounting officer was Jennifer Semakula Musisi.
Good. Okay. I think before we even zero on whether to request the presence of the accounting officer, we want to look to read this report, including the Auditor General's report in issue. We would invite, therefore, Madam Jennifer Semakula Musisi, who was the director in charge of Kcca, where the thing was lost. Because there was a director, she was the executive director, there was also a responsible director for the docket. Yes. During those days, for those who can remember, we can still find out. It's not a difficult thing to know.
Mr. Chairman, some clarification.
Yes, clarification.
Mr. Chairman, we are dealing with something that was addressed or should have been addressed in the Treasury Memorandum. And when you look at the Auditor General's report, when you look at the report on page they indicate that
I want to open with you.
Page 35. Page 35, 4.3. Audit of the Treasury Memorandum.
Yes.
We would suspend this business because it is one of them. It is something that took place in the previous audit reports. So that we now have it, the whole of it, because 5 out of 14 were not implemented. That could have been one of them. Because if we now handle one piecemeal, we shall not get an answer.
But supposing the Treasury Memorandum does not include this.
So this is where the Lord Mayor should give us a copy of the Treasury Memorandum.
A Treasury Memorandum from the Lord Mayor?
Yeah, because you see the Lord Mayor works with the minister, who is the policy manager.
No, it doesn't work that way. Treasury Memorandum is actually a responsibility of the Ministry of Finance.
Okay, but you know the Lord Mayor is a politician.
Yes, but is a politician?
Yes.
You see,
for us to address this thing conclusively and effectively,
actually,
we need a copy of the Treasury Memorandum.
Honorable Kcca, the Treasury Memorandum is the property of Parliament because it is given to us and is audited or is scrutinized by ourselves.
With your wisdom,
yeah, you're not lying.
You direct the clerk to avail to this committee Treasury Memorandum of this entity.
It is so done. Honorable Nkunyinji, but before that, Honorable Kcca, when you look at page 35 where you referred us, you will find that the Auditor General says out of the 14 recommendations issued, 7 recommendations were fully implemented, 2 recommendations were partially implemented, while 5 were not implemented. And he gives a table. Management of the report of the Committee on Commissioned Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises for the financial year 2021-14. Fully implemented, 7. Partially implemented, 2. Not implemented, 5. Now, this relates to those recommendations for the financial year 2021. It does not relate to the one which we are talking about, of the 11-12.
You see, Mr. Chairman, for us to be sure, let the Office of Auditor General show us a matrix of these partially implemented, fully implemented, and not implemented. The Auditor General should furnish this committee with those. And we find out, we convince ourselves that that is not one of them.
No. I want to make the context clear. That even if they gave you that very one that they are talking about here, which is very easy, and they can provide it, please provide it, it will not contain the issue that we are talking about. If PAC considered the issue we are discussing, that is PAC.
But it has been reoccurring, Mr. Chairman. It has been reoccurring because it was never resolved.
Okay, I was here last year. I did not hear about these 2-way bridges. The point I am making, Honorable Kcca, is that either these way bridges would have been contained in the report of 2011-12 before Parliament, or that of the CPAC if CPAC existed then. So we are going to dig for the report of 2011-12, which I have already guided that they avail us, and the report of Cosase then. I am not sure, actually. I was not on Cosase then, but we will get the report of Cosase then and see if it addressed the issue of the way bridges. Honorable Kabulindi, you were part? It never came up. So, that's why I have called for CID to come here. Because apparently, this matter has been handled in a clumsy way. And now we want to see results. Honorable Nkunyinji Mwada.
Thank you, Chair. As we wait for the CID,
of course we are moving.
I want to interrogate another critical aspect under 1.6. I read from the report that the department 1.61 that I observed. I'm reading from the response, but it's part of the Auditor General's report.
Yes.
That I also observed that the unit lacked adequate staff, since the structure allows only 13 staff, including 5 divisions, but only 2 staff are substantive. Only 2 staff are substantive: the manager of solid waste and environment management, and 1 officer of solid waste. Now,
that one is catered for in 1.4. And we said we shall deal with 1.6, 1.5, and 1.4. So it is already, it is a substantive issue.
Chair, my inquiry at this point was, because I see Kcca with a lot of Chiboko squad, enforcement officers, among others. And I wanted to interrogate, one of their would be...
I don't think in the structure of Kcca there is Chiboko squad, but I know there are enforcement officers who may behave Chiboko-ish.
Those who beat Vatembe. Now, but whenever we see the ED, she has a lot of bodyguards. Now, we want to interrogate the structure. The structure.
ED go on record, because the shaking of the head will not be recorded, and you seem to be protesting that.
A lot of bodyguards.
How many do you have?
Bodyguards, I have one.
Only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you say I don't have a lot, someone will assume you have a number.
We see on TV.
Is it a man or a woman?
Chair, because they have to take leave, they alternate. I have a man and a woman.
Okay.
Now they have become two, until they become many. Now,
okay.
But Chair, my concern was,
yes,
could we look at a record of the approved staff structure?
Okay.
Let's interrogate that structure. Two, who approves it? Because you cannot talk
public service.
And in the process of approval, we believe there is a role and input of Kcca in recommendation.
It is in submission and recommendation of the staffing structure.
Because before we talk about the funding, we must interrogate the structure.
Honorable Nkunyinji Mwada, once the structure has been approved by public service, we have no role. It is a technical matter.
Now, Chair, we are dealing with a situation where there is no one to supervise. The machineries are stolen up and taken up to run, and no one can account for the record and chronology. We must interrogate issues of staffing, especially in this technical.
Would you therefore wait that we reach that point, which is 1.4? What is the concern? There are two people who has conspired to raise a concern. Choose one of you.
Of course, the wise men come from the east, so.
And they come and settle in the central. So they left the east. In the east, they are not there because they came. Yes.
Mr. Chair, now I'm just interested in knowing. One, first of all, the fact that the gadget was stolen.
Gadgets, sir, because there were two.
Okay, the gadgets were stolen, which we are using to know the quantities of waste that is being dropped daily or monthly or something. What I want to know is as to whether, as of today, we have records relating to quantities that we drop daily.
Okay. Idi and your deputy, you need to listen to that question.
Chair, the fact that the gadgets were stolen, the way bridge. Okay.
Yes.
Now, this Mnyankole man is thinking we are in Kcca.
I have no evidence here he's a Mnyankole. I know he's a member of parliament.
So, Mr. Chairman,
yes.
What I'm trying to understand, the way bridge were stolen. Right now,
does the report say they brought dysfunctional ones? They removed the new ones
and they installed
the
non-function one. Now, Mr. Chairman, what I'm interested, do we have a way of determining the quantities that we drop daily?
Okay.
In terms of garbage, because now we have non-functional way bridges.
Okay. Procedure?
What do we use to determine?
Procedure,
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The point of procedure, Mr. Chairman, I would like to raise is that the issue we are discussing about is 13 years ago. It is not even a query in our current books of accounts that we are interrogating, and we are taking too much time on the same issue that the road mayor has just raised.
How much
13 years ago.
How much time
not
do you think
even
we should have allocated to it?
I wouldn't even allow to be allocated the time, Mr. Chairman, because it cannot form part of our report.
Order, Mr. Chairman.
We are looking at the Auditor General's report, for the last 1 year.
Order, Mr.
You
Chairman.
know,
And we are talking about the issue. that
Honorable
happened 13
Nangoli
years
comes
ago.
from a clan called
So,
Yavomululu.
Mr. Chairman,
And the maternal side is Mamuliachi.
Mamulia Mumaso.
Mamulianyuma. Honorable Nangoli, it is a very, very important issue that involves taxpayers' money, but also that relates to integrity in serving our people. It's a very, very important issue.
Information.
Yes, you want to inform us?
Yeah, on this particular issue, the current audit query is about hire at exorbitant cost. And internally, we are grappling with the issue. Should we continue hiring or we purchase our own? So we are raising the concerns we are having. That purchase has got issues. If you purchase, they will be stolen. So we are asking Parliament to plug loopholes for us.
No, actually, we will not plug loopholes for you. We can purchase, give them to you, leave you with the responsibility to protect them. You steal them, we lock you up. We sell your property. Because even this one, we are not leaving it here. Okay? It has to be discussed. I think this is how we're going to conclude. Shall we have a report from Frank Rusa on CID? Because even our recommendation will have to speak to our findings of today.
Honorable Chairman, I've had an opportunity to speak with the head of CID, SCP Mugwisaje, and he has informed me that he's out of jurisdiction. He has gone on official duty, but he has committed to making an appearance here next time he's summoned to give this honorable committee an update of.
We shall have a report next week from Mr. Mugwisaje. For now, Mugwisaje will come here. Of course, the question Honorable Chiwanuka is asking is legitimate, except that interrogating it will take time. Because you are the complainant, ordinarily you would be having your reference. Except that it was done the way they did it. They had a discussion in a meeting. CID picked up. CID ordinarily should have, upon picking it up, should have provided a reference and known who the the complainant is. Then he would have recorded a statement. You know, some of those are gaps.
The head legal looks scared, very scared. He should reveal to us if...
You did not need to defend yourself, Frank Rusa. Can't we move to the next? I am giving final guidance on this so that we move to the next. One, clerk, we want the report of the Auditor General of 2011-2012. Number two, to dig up the records of Cosase, if it was discussed. Number three, on our own, to instruct our CID. Where are they? Yes, CID, to take up the matter in liaison with Frank Rusa, with the CID of Kcca, to give us a report by Tuesday on how far they have moved. Okay? Then, Mr. Rusa, you have this. Who told you you can eat before you work? Okay, you may access.
I told you, Chair, he's looking for fresh air.
Okay. Frank, you have forgotten what St. Paul said. Before you work, forget about eating. Frank, what you do, you're going to work with our CIDs in processing that report to be brought here on Tuesday. Among the terms, you must establish who the accounting officer was, who the director, health and environment was, who was in charge of Chitezi. Look at the handover between Otada and the Kcca, or Kcca, yes, Kcca. Then the handover between the Kcca and the Nippon. What was handed over? ED, you need to facilitate that process, not in terms of money, but provision of documents. Okay, let's go to 1.62, management of waste by Kcca. Sorry? Honorable Naume Kabasharira, would you want to introduce yourself? For the record, you've been seated there and talking, but we have not captured your presence.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Naume Kabashara. I represent Rushen County in Ntungamo district.
You need to give assurance that you survived the storms that were in Ntungamo.
I did.
Honorable
So I was saying
Swami?
that he can now go and eat.
Okay. Frank, you can now eat some mandas, because when you're out there, you say, Avari mukulia, you also eat. Honorable Swami, introduction?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I apologize, I came a little bit late. Yusuf Nsibambi, a member of Parliament of Mawokota County South, also a member of this committee.
Okay. 1.6.2.
Honorable Kcca is out of order. He's asking which party. And
Is indeed. I did not hear him on the microphone. I think you just overtrusted his voice. Following the Kcca's disaster, Kcca put in place measures to ensure better solid waste management in the city and the surrounding areas. However, there are still challenges in the treatment and safe disposal of waste, as highlighted below. 1. Purchase of land at Dundu. Although Kcca purchased 135 acres of land in 2015 at 5 billion as an alternative dumping site, the community in Dundu resisted the relocation of the dumping site, which left the land idle and prone to encroachment. Funding for disaster response. Following the 2024 disaster, government released 4.92 billion to Kcca in October 24 to support interim operations at Kcca and Nkumba dumping sites, including stabilizing Kcca's slopes. Consequently, Kcca was requested to open an account, Kcca Contingency Fund, in Bank of Uganda. By the time of the audit, December 24, which was 4 months after the disaster, the funds had not yet been utilized and were still on the Kcca contingency account number, that one, in Bank of Uganda. Management of waste in Kampala. Following the Kcca's disaster, Kcca relocated waste dumping to Katabi, Nkumba, and the Kcca temporarily dumping sites in Entebbe and Mukono municipalities, respectively. However, these sites lack the capacity to receive the volume of waste collected from Kampala and the greater Kampala metropolitan area. This has led to an environmental accumulation of backlog of collection of waste in the city, which poses health and environmental risks to citizens. I think this will give us a status, partly which we have, but also the decommissioning process, how you left those two places, Kcca and Nkumba. Did you just walk away? Disaster preparedness by Kcca. I noted that Kcca does not have a functional disaster management committee to cope with and manage disasters such as the collapse of the Kcca's landfill, among others. I further noted that no training has been given to empower Kcca staff to respond to disasters in Kampala. This may limit risk assessment, identification, and response, which increase the risk of disasters and their associated effects, such as loss of property and lives. Explanation of the accounting officer was that waste dumping operations were relocated to Nkumba and Kcca for continuity of the waste management services in the city, and the authority has since received contingency funds to address immediate needs to minimize the aftermath effects of lack of an adequate waste disposal facility. Part of the resources have been earmarked for the procurement of vacant land to serve the need for emergency waste disposal services in Kampala, in the city. Additionally, Kcca is in the final stages of contracting for the decommissioning, remediation, and repurposing of Kcca's landfill. There are quite a number of components in this complaint, in this purchase of land in Mkono. Lord Mayor, what do you intend to use this land for? You acquired it for 5 billion.
I had intended, Chair, if it pleases you, to start with a policy issue on disaster risk management committee, because it governs the rest. Chair, thank you. Chair, in 2020, we adopted this Kampala disaster risk climate change resilience strategy. I superintended over these processes myself, and Chair, we adopted it as our guiding tool, and the forward I gave here was quite instructive on what needed to be done to address disasters in the city. So this is the guiding instrument. Thereafter, Chair, yes, Chair, and thereafter, Chair, we did the profiling of the disasters we are prone to. This is the multi-hazard risk and vulnerability profile for the capital city. We profiled all the disasters here in this huge report. We went ahead, Chair. You can see Kampala Capital City Authority Emergency Response Plan for Disaster Risk Management. This is 2025-2030. This is the agenda on how to manage the disaster. We also adopted this one. The Kampala Capital City Authority Emergency Response Plan, Disaster Management. So, Chair, these is 3 instruments, I'm afraid to say, with a lot of disillusionment, have not yet been implemented. And this relates to some of the structural challenges we are facing. So the audit query is... This is the protocol. Just hand over
Let's receive them first. This one is called the Kampala Capital City Authority Emergency Response Plan for Disaster Risk Management 2530. The second is the updated multi-hazard risk and vulnerability profile for Kampala Capital City, and the procurement reference number Kcca GKMA CONS 2425 to 0002020 June 25, Kampala Disaster Risk and Climate Change Resilience Strategy. Thank you. You were telling us...
Mr. Chairman, some clarification on those policies. Mr. Chairman,
yes,
on the documents submitted.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, we have a national policy for disaster preparedness and management as a country policy. So the implementation mechanism the mayor is talking about should be in line with this one, with this national policy, because it is already national policy.
So have you observed that it is not?
Until we get it, so...
You see, Honorable Kwizera is presenting their efforts. It is up to us to read them and say they are consistent or not.
So now the Auditor General considered which document?
Chair,
proceed.
Those instruments are anchored on the National Disaster Response Policy. They are in tandem. There is no contradiction. And Chair, from there, I embarked on the journey, personally, of implementing those ones in line with the National Disaster Response Policy and also operationalization of the mechanisms. And Chair, what I have encountered as personally as the Lord Mayor.
Just a minute. Where is the clerk? CID, can you arrest the clerk and bring him back? This meeting will be suspended for 5 minutes.
LC agambye bagenda nagira bagundi babatwale ba LC1 abaaliwo nga batondera somebody njagala kuddayo